Hi guys, it's Steve from Chatting Tax Accountants. So I think this is the second video I've done where I'm talking about software and not just typical accounting and tax related things. Incidentally, this is to do with your cash flows, so it is to do with finances. Some of the things I'm going to be sharing and showing you how to use later on are nothing to do with accounting, nothing to do with finance. They're just about helping you run your business better, really. So this one's quite exciting because it's a new kid on the block in terms of cash flow forecasting. It's called Fluidly, and if you're new to cash flow forecasting, it's basically if you want to have a better picture of the future and you want to be more confident in terms of can you pay those bills, can you pay those wages, is my cash flow likely to go up or down, can I afford to hire an extra member of staff, can I afford to move premises, all these sort of questions, then you need to be doing cash flow forecasting. Lots of smaller businesses, they're a bit reactive, they're not really looking forward, and to be honest, there's no excuses today with the software, particularly if you're using Xero, or we're doing your bookkeeping, or doing your own bookkeeping. If you're using Xero or QuickBooks, I strongly recommend using some form of cash flow forecasting software. If you're new and you've never done to cash flow forecasting, you've never done it before, you're in the right place, because Fluidly it ticks two boxes. It's free. It doesn't cost a penny, and I'll elaborate on that in a second. And also, it's automatic. You don't even have to do anything. So it's a bit of a game changer, if I'm honest. And that's why I'm sharing it today, because I think for people new to cash flow forecasting, version 1.0 is better than version 0. So you've got to start from somewhere. So if you're new to forecasting and you want to get involved cheaply, well, it's free, can't get any cheaper than that, and you don't want it to take time, effort, hassle, then you're in the right place. So if I go to the pricing for Fluidly, it's basically free if you want to look in advance for 90 days. So if you want a 90-day forecast, which to be honest, that's good for a lot of people, for the next 3 months, completely free. If you want to jump to a 12-month forecast, it's £79. I don't personally recommend Fluidly at the moment. If you want to pay that amount of money, I would use something called Float. Float is amazing. I use it for my business. Anyone who wants more detailed forecasting, you can do it yourself or we can help you. I strongly recommend Float. It's so detailed, picks up what customers are going to pay you, what customers are not going to pay you. It looks a lot more forward into the future. Fluidly is a different beast. Fluidly is dead easy, probably not quite as accurate. No cash flow forecasting software is 100% accurate because they haven't got a crystal ball. Who knows exactly what your bills are going to be? But it uses AI to calculate the way you're behaving in terms of your Xero, your QuickBooks, and it tries to represent which direction you're heading in terms of your business and your cash flow for the next 3 months or 12 months if you want to sign up for this one. So yeah, it's not going to be a deep dive. I just wanted to bring it to your attention because it takes you 10 minutes to literally get set up, connect it to your Xero and get a 90-day forecast. And if you haven't got one, I strongly recommend you get involved. So here's some details. The more sophisticated features, if you pay for it, it can do debtor chasing, but I don't recommend Fluidly for that. I recommend Chaser, which I'll talk about later on. But it gives you a graph of your cash flow, essentially. And what you want is your cash flow to be going up. You want the graph to be going up and not down, and you haven't got any nasty surprises. So hopefully that's useful. Give it a go, guys. And any questions, give me a shout. On the subject of cash flow, we've started introducing a lot more services in the business. And one of them is cash flow management. And there's 2 different types of cash flow management services we offer, and they're quite different, to be honest with you. The first one, service 1, is we do your forecast for you. If you're going to use Fluidly and you're happy with something simple and you've never done one before and you just want to get an idea, it's free, you don't need to do anything, brilliant. If you want something a bit more detailed, you want more confidence, you want to be challenged, you want something you can rely on, then you do need a proper 12-month forecast, and that's something we can do for you. So service 1 is we can help you with a forecast. Service 2 is a different beast altogether. So not only do we do your cash flow, but we meet with you at least every 3 months to help you improve your cash flow. So that's a completely different thing. The first one is preparing your cash flow with you and discussing it in a bit more detail. And then it's left to you to check back to it for the next 12 months. The second one here is basically working with you to help improve your cash flow. So there's certain things that people don't understand. So for example, do you know what the cash conversion cycle is? I guess you don't, because we're we're not all accountants and bookkeepers. Essentially, it's how many days does it take from the time you purchase something to get that money in your bank? You know, is it 30 days? Is it 90 days? Is it 60 days? And all this makes a big difference in terms of your cash. There's things you can do to put an extra 10 grand in your bank relatively easy if you're focusing on the right numbers. So the second one is all about working with you to improve your cash flow. But that's enough of me waffling on. So yeah, Fluidly, I really recommend it, particularly if you're new to cash flow forecasting. Thanks, guys.